of the questions and probably much more. Let me share quickly the agenda. There were questions around marketing, of course, digital marketing. So we'll go through that very briefly. What is marketing, especially for school students? I know for professionals is different versus for all of you, especially those who are in maybe 8th, 9th, 10th, 11th. It's mostly high school students, as far as I know. We will, talk about why digital marketing. Before, what is digital marketing? Why digital marketing is important. Then I'm sure all of you have some idea you're working on. Some of you already have a product or a service which is already ready to be promoted. And you want to know how can you use this medium. So rather than, learning digital marketing in bits and pieces, I've kind of created a very simple framework for you to create a digital marketing plan. I will leave you with a worksheet which you can use after this masterclass to actually jot down the key components of the digital marketing plan, which will help you streamline your efforts, the limited budget you may have. So it will help you do that. And of course, we will have Q&A. At any point in time in between, you have a burning question which must be asked. You can ask in between. Otherwise, we will have enough time for Q&A towards the end, right? Are you excited? Great. So what is marketing? Right? Now, marketing, there could be various definitions, but very simple definition of marketing is any actions, activities a company or an entrepreneur or an individual take to promote their product or service in front of their customers, right? Now, all of you would have seen iPhone ad, right? iPhone 16 ad, maybe Bonvita ad, Maggie ad, in the TV, on YouTube, on the billboards. So anywhere you are seeing a product or a service, and through that communication, you are being aware about that product and service, that is fundamentally marketing, right? So marketing is promoting your product or a service, taking it out in front of your customers. And sales is when someone buys your product, right? Someone pays for your product. So an ad by Apple on YouTube for iPhone is a marketing activity. And when you go to a store, having that conversation with the salesman there in the Apple store, and then you make a purchase, that is a sale, right? You get that? Marketing versus sale. Naira, is that clear to you? Aditya, just say thumbs up, right? So marketing is taking your product or service perfect in front of your audience. Sales is your customer paying for your product or service. Now, you might have heard, or you will definitely hear, the marketing mix or 4 P's of marketing, which are today also important. Now, marketing is not just promotion. One critical aspect of marketing is promotion, which is, mentioned here, but product is an integral part of marketing, right? You look at any application today, they are using their application, like online services, Amazon, their product is that application. And that itself is very, very critical in terms of how easy is it to use, how much, bandwidth does it take, how stable it is, how accessible it is, say on Android and Apple Store. So product features are important element of marketing. And it's actually said that, if you have a great product, you don't need to spend money on promoting it, right? So don't just look at promoting. Product does a lot of promotion itself if you have something really great. Then price is an equal part of marketing. If you price your product too high, then you are going to miss on customers. If you, on the other hand, if you undersell, price it too low, then you are missing out on an opportunity. And depending upon the stage of your product and service, what problem it is addressing for your customers, how strong your brand is, how great is your customer service, you can demand a price. right? So for example, Apple is able to demand very high price. Likewise, in cafe area, Starbucks is able to demand very high price because it has a very strong brand, right? You have when you hear about Apple, you know it's one of the best. When you hear of Starbucks, you know that you're going to get one of the best experiences, right? Similarly, in airlines, you will see Emirates, some of the airlines which are far more superior in terms of their service, their timeliness. So you're willing to pay more. So price is also very important. And especially when you're launching a product, you have to experiment with pricing, right? So you may start with low, then you may increase, you may give discounts, you may have seasonal offers. All of that are important elements of marketing. Then you decide where will you distribute that product or service, and that is called place. And it could have multiple distribution channels, right? So you may you may make your product available through online media as well as offline media, in specific events, through retailers, through other shops, right? So all of those elements are important part of marketing, and they are part of the place. And then promotion includes, say, you send emailers, you advertise online, you advertise on social media, you advertise on YouTube, you advertise in an offline space. So that is promotion, right? So whenever you are thinking of marketing, don't just think of advertising. That is just one part of marketing. Product is super critical, and that's the most important. If you have the best product, you don't need to advertise. Like Google doesn't advertise, right? Or a very minuscule. Google may advertise for online advertising. There may be ads by Google, but it spends very little money. And actually, it is said that the best products spend least on advertising. If you don't have a great product, you will need to spend far more, right? So that is the world of marketing. I hope you get a sense of marketing as well as sales. Right? Okay, perfect. Let's move forward. Now, within marketing, there are various opportunities, various channels, and one of the most popular today is digital marketing. Now, when we started digital Vidya 13, 14 years ago, at that point in time, it was relatively new. Like Facebook advertising was new. There were a lot of questions. Should we do, should we not? Should we do this? Should we do that? Is it worth it or not? But I think over last more than a decade now, it is established that you don't have a choice but to do digital marketing in most of the scenarios. And the biggest reason is, why do you need to do digital marketing? Because your customers are on this medium. So what is digital marketing is promoting your product or a service on digital media. So why do you need to do? Because your customers are on this medium. If you are not taking your product or service through that medium, your competition is already taking. Now, some of the elements which makes digital marketing superior, one is it gives you global reach. Like we started our venture 20 years ago. At that point in time, our target audience was in US. Even today, significantly US. Sitting here without much money, we couldn't reach out to them. But thanks to this medium, which we accidentally discovered, we could sell sitting in Delhi to people across the world, especially US. So it gives you global reach. It gives you very, very targeted reach. Like you want to target people in Delhi, and not just in Delhi at a particular pin code, like people searching for a particular keyword near Khan Market, then only your ad should be shown. That is the level of targeting you can do. Similarly, on Facebook, you can target people that, okay, male between 13 to 18 years using iPhone and in Faridabad from this duration, they should see this ad only. And you only pay when someone clicks on your ad. That level of targeting this medium offers, which of course is not possible in offline. So that is another big reason why this medium is important. Then, of course, it's cost effective. in offline medium, you want to do something, you will need to have a minimum budget, right? You want to advertise in metro stations, you want to advertise on the billboard on the national highway, you need to spend minimum money. And that money relatively is high and you need to spend for a minimum period. But in case of digital, you have 500 rupees, you want to advertise for 3 days during this time also, like, from 8 in the morning till 5 p.m. in the evening, only that period you want to advertise through Google Ads for people who are in Rohini or say Bandra in Mumbai, you can do that. So you have a control, and that level of cost effectiveness. And finally, you can measure. I will show you all of that in terms of, you have a website or a mobile app. It tells you, tools like Google Analytics tells you a lot of insights about how many people visited, how much time they spent, from which locations they came, which pages did they spend how much time, what actions did they take on those pages. All of that you can measure in real time. And that is another big reason why digital marketing has become so critical today. And that is why each one of us have no option but to use it. Now, how well do you execute determines how effective will it be, right? Does that help you understand why digital marketing? Okay, great. Now I'll give you example of targeting, right? For example, as I shared on Facebook, when you advertise, you can target based on behavior, you can target based on demographics. I'll show you live. You can see my screen, right? Just a second. I'll have to put this on the side. This is ad. So this is Facebook ad interface. When I'm running an ad on Facebook, I can target people like this, right? So I can change the age, only specific age. I can change gender. I can target people based on parameters in terms of, are they travelers? Are they, look, I'll show you, based on their interest. People who are in specific kind of business, people who have specific family relationship, like children, parents, you can target based on marriage. You can target people based on education, right? So those only high schoolers should see your ad. From a particular university also, like, let me just check. So you want to target people, say, from Indian Institute of Foreign Trade or Indian Institute of Technology, Mandi, Bhubaneswar, Indore. Only those people, that age, that gender will see your ad, and you only pay when someone clicks on your ad. That level of targeting this medium offers. Does that look exciting? Is that clear? Right? So that is the reason why this is so popular, why this is so critical. Now we'll come to how do you create your digital marketing plan. Means, it's great. You've been hearing about it. You want to do it. Is there a structured way to do it? Right? Now, before you do, I would say most of us normally we start by what we know. For example, we are spending a lot of time on Facebook, so we will go after Facebook. We know about Insta a lot, so we'll say, okay, let's advertise on Insta. We are very, very active on LinkedIn. LinkedIn will become a default channel, but that may not be correct. That may not be the best way. You always begin with, what do you want to do with digital marketing? Right? So that is, identify your objectives. What do you want to do with digital marketing? I'll tell you our example. For example, we are in the business of digital marketing trainings. So when we advertise, say, on Google or on Facebook or Insta or do emails, our objective is people should ultimately register for our digital marketing course or digital marketing training. Now, before that happens, normally people come to your website and they attend an orientation session. So they fill a form and they show interest. in our program, but before they register for a long-term program, which requires significant amount of their time and significant amount of money, they need to be sure. And for that, they will attend an orientation session. They will attend a demo session. So they come to our website, they look at next upcoming online free orientation session, they will fill a form, and then we know they have done that, and that becomes a prospect or a lead for us. So you would hear later terms like lead and customer. So by lead means a prospect who has shown interest in your product and service. So our objective is generate leads for our program. For Amazon, the objective may be people buying a product. They are not in the business of people showing interest and then someone talks to them and they, make a purchase. So e-commerce companies, their objective is directly selling a product. In our case, it's a lead first, then our counselor talk to them, they become a customer. In case of Amazon, it's a direct sale. In case of a media company, say Economic Times, Times of India, they want people to consume their content and they subscribe to their plan. So that's a different objective. Now, for a company like Cadbury, they may not be interested in selling offline. They are doing a lot of interesting advertising on YouTube, and they want as many relevant people to see that video, because they know if you have seen that video, you find it relevant, when you go to a retail store, you will buy that product. Right? So if you look at objectives, objective-wise, it could be visibility or reach, or that may include branding. It could be subscription, where someone subscribes to a service. It could be a lead, where someone shows an interest by filling a form. And finally, for someone like e-commerce companies, it could be a sale. Right? So depending upon, and while I'm doing this, whatever idea you have, keep that in the background and start using it for your idea. Like, what would you want to do? And maybe in the chat, you can share what is your objective. Can you do that, all of you do that? I'll give you 30 seconds. If you have an option to put on the chat, just type, what do you think is your primary objective of using digital marketing? You want to directly sell a product, then it would be sale. If you want someone to share their details so that you can talk to them later, it could be lead. If you want just a visibility, it could be reach or visibility, right? So can all of you do that? Because I want this to be, more actionable than just Gyan. So how many of you have done it? I am just sharing the screen, so I have not seen the responses.
So many of them are focusing on sales. Some of them are for.
Oh, I can see that now. Chat, reach. Yeah, I can see that. Fundraising. Oh, great. Yeah, you can use digital marketing for fundraising. Marketing, sale. Okay, perfect. Great. So that's very, very important, right? Identifying your objective is the first step. And there could be multiple objectives. Now, perfect. Second step is defining your target audience. And that's very, very critical. And by that, I mean, do you marketing, the success of marketing is a function of how well you know your customer. So if you know your customer really well, there is a lot you can do. And knowing your customer begins with who they are. Like, I'll give you again our personal example. In our case, there are multiple kinds of segments of customer, or by target audience, customer, consumer. One of them is students who are in the final year of their bachelor's. Right? People who are doing, say, BCom, BSc, BA, and they are looking for a career in digital marketing. And they could be across India because our programs are online. We also have offline centers. So for offline center, same people, but location. Right? So for example, we have a center in Malviya Nagar. So then we are looking at people in South Delhi. So students in the final year or who have just graduated near South Delhi, who are interested in building a career is one set of audience. Likewise, entrepreneurs, startup owners, people who have a product and a service they want to promote like you, that is another audience because they want to learn digital marketing. Then we do training programs for organizations. So within those organizations, marketing heads, within those organizations, training and placement departments in those organizations. Similarly, training department in a university, training and placement in university. So that's another set of audience. Now, one part of a target audience is profile, another could be location, could be gender, could be age. And the more you are able to define, the better you would be able to communicate with them, the better you would be able to select relevant channels, and your all marketing efforts would become more efficient to the degree you know your target audience, right? So can you all write again in the chat, who's your target audience? And there is no best correct final answer, right? So just share whatever you think is the best. Like my target audience could be teenagers from metro cities. My target audience could be math teachers across India. My target audience could be chief executive officers or directors of e-commerce companies. Likewise, for your product and service, you define your target audience. My target audience could be housewives in tier 2 cities. Oh, great. Great to see so active audience. Wow. 100 messages filled so fast. Poor student, middle class people, NGOs, normal people, families, homes. Say, okay, great. Homes is not a target audience, right? How do you advertise to home? So it has to be human beings, right? I believe you meant families maybe, and further define families, right? What do you mean by family? So every household has a family, but you may be looking at families who are in specific locations. You may be looking at families who have specific type of income, right? So the more you define, the better. Seniors. So seniors could be, what do you mean by seniors? Seniors, college seniors, seniors, school seniors. Okay, Arshika said 18 to 40, but define 18 to 40 male only or female only or both. Blind people of all ages and gender, kids and girls, 11 to 25, teens, dads, philanthropist to invest funds. So you're looking at fundraising, Sunita, great. Educators, middle class men, investors, homes and industries and factories, businessmen, mine in AI, seniors, papa, government. Yeah, there could be. And that's how you need to define. So once you have identified your objectives, you have identified your target audience. Perfect. Well done, everyone. I can see 99 plus more messages. Wow. Never seen so interactive audience. Then once you know your objective, you know your target audience, based on your target audience, you should look at which medium should I use to promote. And by media, I means which mediums. And here we are talking restricting it to digital. You could use outside digital as well, but within digital, there are so many options. So it could be Insta, it could be YouTube, it could be Snapchat, it could be TikTok in a specific geography, it could be WhatsApp, it could be Quora. So depending upon where your audience is, you will use that medium versus the medium you know more about, versus the medium you are more active on. And as I shared earlier, like on Facebook, advertising without even running an ad, it can tell you how many people are there of the specific location. Like if you see here, it is telling roughly how many size of audience. So Indian Institute of Technology Indore, 13,000 to 16,000 people between 18 to 65, all genders. If I change this gender, if I change this age, this number will change. So this you are able to do without running an ad. So you can validate Whether your audience is there, how big is that? Not every channel gives you this level of targeting. But for example, you want to advertise on YouTube, what you should do? Search for relevant keywords. Like in case of us, I will search for digital marketing course or digital marketing training. I will see how many videos are there, how many advertisers on YouTube for that ad. The more content is there, the more consumption of content in terms of videos is there, the more people are advertising, that will validate that's a relevant channel for me. On Facebook, I can, and Facebook includes Insta as well. Without even running an ad, I know exactly how much of my audience exists on this medium. And this only you would be able to do if you have defined your audience. That's why the previous step is so critical. Right? Does that make sense? So that is how you will select your media. Rajat, you have a question? You raised your hand. You want to ask a question?
Hello, sir.
Yeah, hi, Rajat.
Hi, sir. Nice to meet you.
Thank you.
Sir, I just want to ask one question to you. So, what do you think in future, what will grow, traditional marketing or digital marketing?
Good question. I think traditional has reached to a kind of a saturation in terms of its reach, right? For example, newspapers are declining in terms of their circulation. Magazines have reduced. TV has taken a shape of OTTs and others. So that is evolving. But digital still has a far more scope. Right? We still have a percentage of population who is not on this medium. So digital will grow bigger. And the question is not digital versus traditional. You would, if you are a large business, you will do both. You will put your budget based on which is more relevant for you. But I would say digital is still going to grow faster and larger. But I would not say traditional is not relevant. Even today, radio works, TV works, but not everyone can afford. Not everyone has that muscle. It is relevant for everyone. But for large brands who have significant budgets, they want to spend some money just for visibility, they would do. But for startups, for sure, digital is far more effective, will continue to be even more effective. Does that answer your question, Rajat?
Yes, sir.
Okay, perfect.
Thank you,
I'll
sir.
take more questions, everyone. Probably some of your questions will get answered as I move forward. Then is promote. And by promotion, I mean if you have chosen Facebook, on Facebook, you can run a advertisement. You can create a page. You can participate in groups. You can use your personal profiles. So there are multiple ways to promote on a particular platform. Now, depending upon your objective, depending upon the budget, depending upon your skills, you will use various promotional techniques on that medium. Like Quora, for example, it's one of the great platforms. You can answer very, very effectively and promote your product or a service. And you can advertise as well. Advertising is easy, right? It is more lazy, I would say, but only if you have budget. You don't have budget, use organic mediums. Then is, of course, promotion. I'll come to what are the channels, how do you promote, and more important, how do you measure as well. Now, within digital media, I'll quickly walk you through some of the aspects, some of the techniques or platforms which are most important. One is SEO, which is search engine optimization. By SEO, I mean, and there is SEO and there is SEM. SEM is search engine marketing, SEO is search engine optimization. When you search for a keyword like, say, best camera smartphone under 20,000 rupees on Google, you see different kinds of results, right? You are seeing this result Flipkart on the top. Now, this result is because they have done great search engine optimization. So they are ranked in the first position for me. It could be different for you for this keyword. So the process of getting your website ranked on a search engine for relevant keywords is search engine optimization. Now, search engine optimization has various elements. It includes content, it includes taking care of your website, load time, getting links from other websites, lot more. We spend weeks talking about search engine optimization alone. But for you, you should know basic that when you are seeing a website or an app ranked on the top without ad or without sponsored mention, they have done a great job in SEO. The other results, like for example, these, and even these were sponsored. Now, these are not sponsored. Wherever sponsored is mentioned, or these are a function of SEM, which is search engine marketing, which is paid advertising. So on search engines, you can get your site ranked on the top without paying for it if you do great SEO, and or you can pay to Google to get your website or an app or a product ranked by paying to it. But again, you can target. It's not that you're paying for every search. You show your ad only for certain keywords, search in a specific location. And you only pay to Google when someone clicks on your ad. I talked to you about targeting. I talked to you about cost effectiveness. This is what I meant by targeting and cost effectiveness, right? So within digital media, SEO is one. And there are tools like trends.google.com, which helps you identify keywords in your domain. Because SEO, one of the important elements is I want to get ranked, but for what keywords? How do I know which keywords people are searching for? In my case, so there are tools like trends.google.com, which helps you identify relevant keywords. Let me see if I have opened a window. I'll quickly show you that. Yeah, so if you see, so this is Google's tool. You search for iPhone 16, right? It tells you a lot of things. So past day, this is how the search was based on different timings. But I want to look for past 30 days. It will give me different results. When the iPhone 16 was launched, there were a lot of searches. Now I can go geography wise. It can tell you more such keywords. So it tells you all of that. So iPhone 16 Pro, desert, titanium was another search. So this tells you keywords. This tells you location. This tells you topics. And this is a free tool. All of you can use, right? So you can note this down, spend more time later to experience yourself. That is trends.google.com. So I told you SEO, SEM both uses keywords. So those are two elements. Then is, of course, social media marketing. Then is content marketing, like you use YouTube, you use blogs, then email marketing. Even today is that effective. And in the center is web analytics, which is how do you measure? So you are doing everything. So if we go back, you identify your business objectives, you define your target audience, you select media, you use content advertising to promote on that media. And finally, not in the end, always, you will always measure and optimize. So because it allows you to measure, you can continuously optimize. I'll give you an example of measurement. So Google has a tool called Google Analytics. And you can also, all of you can try this yourself. This is a URL which gives you an idea of a free tool. It's bit.ly. I'll just type it in the chat to see if it can reach all of you.
Let me write. Let me
okay,
see.
Yeah, just write it. Yeah. So I'll just in the meantime do it. So if I go to this page, that is bit.ly dv/AMA. It is a demo account. So if you come to this page, here you will see two links. Google Analytics. This is a sample Google Analytics account. You can check for any of these. Google Merchandise Store, web data. I click on that. And this is the kind of data it is loading. You will see for your own websites or your own app. So here I go into reports. And I'll tell you one small thing. I go into real time. So by real time, it means right now, there are 54 active users in last 30 minutes, 9 active users in last 5 minutes. It tells you geography, it tells you keywords, it tells you which pages, it tells you which platforms they have come from. All of that data available to you real time, free of cost. So this is one big reason why digital marketing is so effective. Because you're able to measure everything in real time, you can continuously optimize. You can stop what's not working. You can spend more money on what's working, which is not possible in traditional, right? You advertise, say, at a location in a mall, you will get some data after a couple of days after you spend significant amount of money. By the time you know what it worked or not, your budget is gone. On digital media, on the same day, you launch in the morning, in the evening, you know this is not working. I want to put this money from here to there. That is working. You double your budget and you are seeing different results. Right? Does that look exciting? That's the reason why digital marketing is so powerful. So this is another URL. You can spend time later yourself to see what kind of analytics it offers. I'll share with you some key terms you will hear later and you want to know for yourself. So one is the budget. You need to define how much money you have for different channels. One is a CPM. Normally, you will see these metrics shown by these platforms. That is cost per 1,000 impressions. Then other is CPC. That is cost per click. Then is CPL, which is cost per lead. That is, by the way, I'll be happy to share the PDF of this presentation. You don't need to worry about missing anything. So when you, for example, in our case, I know if I am having a program which is say at 50,000 rupees, and I know out of 100 people, 10 people register for it. So I know how much money I can spend on those 100 leads or 100 prospects. And then for e-commerce companies, what is cost per acquisition real time? So if you are selling something on Amazon, you can advertise on Amazon directly as well. If you are selling something for 500 rupees, you know that I cannot spend more than 100 rupees on advertising to acquire a customer. So your cost per acquisition maximum is 100, but your target could be say 50 rupees. So these are some key metrics, or we call key performance indicators, KPIs, which you should be monitoring, measuring, so that you are overall able to improve the effectiveness of your campaigns. Right? I think that was a last slide. I am giving you this shortened URL, which has a single pager worksheet. You can, all of you download. It is bit.ly/DM-plan. Vandana ma'am, can you note down and just share in the chat?
Yes.
Okay. Okay, you've noted this, right? So what I am going to do is I'll just share it on. So this is what it has. No, this is the different one. Let me just directly.
Can you please share the URL once again?
Just okay, bit.ly. Yeah, this is the one. Bit.ly. Let me share in the chat. So this is the URL.
Yeah, got it. I sent it.
Got it? Okay. So this is a shortened URL. Otherwise, as you see, it will load. So this is what you will get. So what I have done is for you to be able to put the learnings from this masterclass into action for your product and service, you can fill this single page, which begins with what are your business objectives you want to fulfill using digital marketing, defining your target audience, where the more you are able to define, the better you would be able to use, which channels you want to use, Insta, Facebook, WhatsApp, Quora, YouTube, Google, within Google, SEO, SEM. Then what would you measure? If you are selling something, you would want to definitely measure your cost per acquisition. You may, of course, need to define your budget. What is cost per click? Some people are only interested in consumption of content. it could be cost per mile, cost per mile, we say it is cost per 1,000 impressions, CPM. I have not mentioned here, but it was mentioned there. That's more used for media companies. So you can note this down, take this down, and I really want you to use the learning from this into action. And this one pager will help you crystallize your thoughts and have you have some actionable takeaways versus going out from this session with, of course, interesting content which digital marketing offers. But my commitment, and I'm sure your commitment, is to be able to use digital marketing, right? So I hope this will help. Great. So that's all I wanted to share from my side. I hope it has answered a significant part of questions which were shared with me. But we have time. I'll be happy to take more questions now. Vandana, you can
Yes.
define how we want to get into
Yes,
Q&A.
thank you, Pradeep, for the wonderful session. I think I learned a lot.
Thank you.
It was not from the marketing background as such, so I learned a lot from this. Thank you, Pradeep. So we'll take no question one by one. I'll put you on unmute, and you can take no. And you have to please switch on your camera while asking the questions. Who will not switch on the camera, I will not take those questions. Okay. I'll go with the sequence. Satvik, can you please unmute yourself?
Sir, good evening. Good evening, sir.
Good evening.
Sir, pleasure speaking to you. Sir, my doubt is that suppose there is Apple, everyone buys Apple, but yet there is so much negativity around them. Like if you suppose you go on any platform like YouTube, you scroll through videos, like you'll find many videos why you don't buy Apple. If you go to X, don't buy Apple. But then how do they again generate more sales, even though they are getting negative reviews and negative marketing a lot?
Great question. And I'm glad that you're thinking like that. Apple is one of the best in terms of brand. Apple is best in terms of the way they market their product. And anything which is great, like you look at anything, you will always have negative. You will always have people talking negative. That's so huge, right? You will not have only positive for anything. Tell me one example in life, a person, a product, a country, where you cannot find anything negative. So negative is not a question. If there is so much negative, that means it is concerned to someone. Right? But overall, look at the positivity around Apple as a brand. That is far more than the negative sentiment around it. People are willing to queue up in the line at 4 o'clock in the morning with 1 lakh rupee in their pocket to buy a new phone. Even I don't understand. I just bought iPhone, I think second time in my life in 25 years. And I also have some, negative aspects, like it doesn't allow Truecaller to work well. It has some negative aspects as well, but I think it is stable. I have MacBook, so it connects, and I was willing to pay a little higher price. And because of the brand, I knew it's reliable. So I bought it.
Thank you.
Right. So Satvik, I hope it answered, and probably it helped others as well.
Thank you. Soumyadeep, please switch on your camera and ask your question.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, sir. Sir, I have a question that how do we balance traditional SEO factors with user behavior metrics like dwell time and CTR?
Wow. Which grade are you in?
Yes, sir. Sir, class
I'm
9.
asking, wow, you know dwell time in class 9th? That's so remarkable. Now, for benefit of others, as I shared, SEO is a process of getting your website ranked on the search engines. Now, not every website is ranked on the top. It cannot. There are sites who are ranked on the top. There are sites who are not ranked even in the top 1,000. And it is a function of various parameters. One of the most important parameters is content, because if your website is not talking about the content around the keywords you want you to be discovered, it will not be visible. It will not be surfaced on the top. The other element, as Soumya asked, is dwell time. Right? So there are a lot of technical aspects of your website. And you look from a Google angle. Right? So Google always has a choice to show websites whenever a keyword is searched. Google would want to show the most relevant website it think it is for the people who are searching. Definitely, it has to be around that topic. That's why I said content is super important. Then is the whole aspect of user experience. If your website takes a lot of time to load, Google would not get you ranked on the top because it knows that if people are searching for a keyword, they find your website, it is not even loading. So you will have a bad experience for Google. So you have to optimize the load time of your website, which is a function of what platform have you chosen to host, what platform have you chosen to create HTML pages, what technology are you using, how many scripts do you have, what is the size of your images you are using, have you embedded any videos, in what order the content is being rendered. And there are free tools which gives you all those. Google itself has a Google optimizer or so, tells you what are the elements. It tells you the score out of 100. Where is your site ranked? So what you can do, Somadeep, is use some of those tools, compare your website, you look at your score, look at the score of other websites which are ranked on the top, see what are the gaps, and you fill those gaps. The gaps could be around content, the gaps could be around user experience, the gaps could also be around, another factor is how many other websites are recommending your website, which means how many sites, other sites have linked to your website. That's another factor. Earlier, it used to be, I think, the biggest factor. I wouldn't say it's the biggest today, but it's again very, very relevant. If, for example, the best sites in digital marketing are recommending Digital Vidya, that is telling Google that, hey, this is the best site for digital marketing training. So you would want others to recommend you by linking your website from their website. So you need to have great content. Of course, if you use ChatGPT just to create great content, it could be great in terms of quality, but it is copied. It may not work. You may get negative aspect. You need to have a great website in terms of the load time, the navigation flow. You need to have links from other websites. Those are some of the elements for SEO to get your website ranked. Somadeep, I hope it gave you some idea.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Yeah,
You're welcome.
thank you, Pradeep. Next question is from Adhav. Unmute yourself, Adhav. And
Good evening, sir.
Good evening.
Sir, I have this question where, like, if I put my product in Google, like in a website where I post it, is it necessary to give Google an amount so that mine can be on the top, or can we do that by by the public's viewing?
Good. So as I shared, there are two aspects. If it is search engine optimization, no money can buy a top rank. You cannot do anything. You cannot pay to Google to get ranked. So like I showed you example of Flipkart ranked on top for best smartphone, best camera smartphone under 20,000 rupees. Right now, I see Flipkart. By the way, location-based ranking are different. You may see different results. So Flipkart, even if it's willing to pay $1 billion to Google, they cannot get top ranked. Now, if you cannot get ranked, and ranking takes time, ranking takes effort. The moment you launch a site, it will today typically takes few weeks at least, mostly few months before you get ranked in the top 10. Until then, and even after then, you can spend money on advertising to get ranked among the top. So that is what I meant by SEM or search engine marketing. So if you do great job in SEO over a period of time, you will get ranked among the top, and no money can influence those rankings. With or without that, you can advertise using Google Ads, and there, depending upon how much money you bid for a keyword in a location, how well your ad is, how well your website is. Google also does not rank purely based on the bid you do, right? So it's a bidding mechanism. So for a particular keyword, depending upon how many advertisers are there, the cost per click for your ad increases. But only one element is bidding. If you play smart, your ad copy, which includes a title, which includes a description. Like I remember someone had asked a question about how do we create a great poster or a great banner. Now, anything online, you need to look at some, I will say, some best practices. One is anytime, anything you are designing for online, first you need to understand who your audience is. What is their biggest concern? Based on that, you will decide what is the most important visible element you want anyone who sees your banner, poster, or video to see. That should be most focused. Don't have 10 elements all equally prominent. Define what is the most important and gives the maximum visibility to that. Then have some elements in a very crispy way which answers their questions or addresses the concerns of your customers. And the more specific you are, use numbers, use real life examples versus generic. Oh, I'm the best versus we are in the top 10 by Google, or we are the best based by UNO. Right? So write specific. Some specific features which addresses the concerns of your customers, and finally have a call to action. And by call to action means you explicitly write what you want your visitors to do. It could be buy now, it could be subscribe now, it could be play now, it could be apply now, right? So title or the most visible image title, key elements which are very specific, and a call to action are the important elements you should take care, right? I hope it answered your question. I connected the other question as well with that.
Thank you, Pradeep. So next question is from Advait. Advait, unmute yourself.
Good evening, ma'am. Good evening, sir.
Good evening.
Sir, I have two doubts. First doubt, what site will you recommend for us to publish ads on digital
Publish
marketing?
ads. Okay, good. What do you think should be the answer? Where should the answer come from?
Sir, from
Do you think I can answer that?
no, sir. Means I am taking just reviews from you.
Yeah. What do you need to tell me without which I cannot even tell you? That's what was covered in the presentation.
And sir, second doubt.
No, don't move to the second. First, let's stay there. It's very, very relevant question. It's very relevant for everyone. I'm glad that you asked. How should we decide which channel or a platform we should use?
Sir, by popularity.
Okay, if a channel is very, very popular, so you should always choose the most popular channel? Should you?
Not necessary, sir.
Good. So how would you decide?
Sir, I would decide by the interest of people in this subject.
Absolutely. So as I shared, where your target audience is. If your target audience is on LinkedIn, which could be much smaller than Insta, go after LinkedIn.
Okay.
Right? So that's why I said knowing your customer is very important. So if you know your customers, look at where they are and then go after that channel. And most likely it would always be multiple channels, but you will prioritize. Okay, oh, YouTube is the best channel for me, for example, based on the kind of content I want my audience to consume. Quora could be best, LinkedIn could be best, TikTok could be best, Snapchat could be best, Insta could be best. So no one can answer, or no one can answer unless you tell them who your audience is. And then you will spend some time. On Facebook, as I said, create an ad account. I think it does not probably require you to put any money. Go through the audience section. Then there you see options. It tells you, is your audience there? Okay?
Yes.
Good. Yeah, next question.
And sir, second is, sir, actually there are some disadvantages of digital marketing, which are most common. Short attention span. Sir, visitors often leave a page after 10 to 20 seconds.
Perfect.
So they just scroll down. So
Yeah.
how can we gain attention if
Good. Great question. And absolutely, people don't even scroll down. On mobile, they will see the first screen and they will decide whether they want to continue or move out. So the
yes, sir.
first view, the first screen of your website, and typically we call a landing page. When someone clicks on your ad, you will normally take them to a specially designed page because people are clicking on a particular ad. Now they have a specific interest. You create a specially designed page, which is what we call a landing page. You drive them to that page, and that page is very much optimized based on that ad. So if in your ad you mentioned discount, then your landing page should be clearly communicating that discount. And as I shared, the creative is very critical. The most important element, my voice is echoing. Maybe you can mute. So you need to decide what is the most important element which someone would see. And if they see, they will show further interest to spend time. If you just create a generic, ordinary looking, created too much of content, too much of images, you are surely going to lose them. So again, here, knowing your customer becomes very important.
Yes. So next question is from Shaurya. Shaurya, unmute yourself.
Hello, sir. Good evening.
Yeah.
I'm Shaurya Mother. Actually, his project is related to the race fund,
Okay.
but it's not a executed project. It's a innovation part. Then the idea is too innovative, but it
Okay.
need approval from the government side. Unless until we get the approval, or we have no surety if we raise the fund. Then what about the fund? The where the fund are deposited?
Ma'am,
How they?
excuse me, ma'am. This is not a relevant question. So we'll please ask separately. Okay.
Yeah. But you
So
can
please,
use platforms like Melap, for example,
no,
for
actually,
raising funds.
Pradeep, Pradeep, there's a kit company. We have, they are putting out their products. So they are raising
Okay.
funds on that. So this is related to
Okay.
that.
Okay.
Okay.
Got it. So maybe someone can answer that
You can,
question.
you can connect me
outside of this.
on my phone number. I will be able to tell you. Okay.
Okay,
Great.
ma'am. Okay.
Yeah. Salik, I will take two more questions because we have very limited time left. It's already 1 hour. Will not take much time. So Salik, you can ask your question. Unmute yourself.
Hello, sir.
Hi.
Actually, when we approach some investors or we approach some customers, the thing which may be like may strike them is they are like kids, so they may not be such. And if they are first interested and they see that, it's not that much promising when they see that we are only kids. So what will they do and all that. And also about the content creation part, if I do content creation and will it be okay if I'll repeat some part of configuration in my different videos or reels so that I could get a consistent and a different range of customers, and how to or tackle the part which I mentioned first, like how to approach customers in a way that they cannot reject us.
Sure. So I think that's a relevant concern. Your customers, your investors would have in terms of how serious you are. Right?
Yes, sir.
Naturally, they will have. If your parents were there, if a student approaches, the first question would be how serious you are. You may be studying right now. After that, will you stay? Will this product stay? Will this service stay? So you need to address that in terms of what is the plan. So I think if you understand what are the concerns, so you have to acknowledge my concerns and then address that. Okay, you will say that we are going after this. Even we go to college, this will be there. This is a team. We have someone like, say, this is a mentor. And we promise that we are approachable. We are, you can contact us any point in time. So there could be multiple things. We have already done that. Right. So initially it's always struggle to get first few customers. But I think and you can look into people who know you. Maybe begin with that. Get few customers who consume your product and service. Take their reference, take their testimonials, and then approach strangers. And when you go to strangers, acknowledge that their concern is valid and see what can you do to genuinely address that. And addressing that could mean, already having customers, could mean your plan, even if when you're going to college, it could include your team, mentioning about your team. It could be taking reference of someone like on Youth Ideathon, even maybe. Right? So that is how you should be doing. And content, you can repurpose your content, but don't just copy paste. Don't give, same content to everyone. And your ad could be the same content, but if you're creating content for someone in a topic and then you give the same content to others, for sure you are going to, you're doing the worst thing. You are going to lose both the customers and close the channel for other customers as well.
Thank you.
Sure, sir.
Yeah, thank you, Pradeep. This was really a good session. So I think we just end up right now because it's already 8:37, and right. So thank you for joining us today, and I'll be sharing this recording with you all. So no need to worry what has happened and we missed anything. You will not miss anything. I'll share the recording with you all. Yeah. Okay. Thank you, Pradeep. Thank you so much.
Thank you. My pleasure. Thanks, everyone.
Thanks.
Wonderful questions and so active participation. Really, hats off to you. Take care.
Thank you.
All the best. Bye.